Have you ever wondered how much of what you see on social media is real? Welcome to the world of social media, a place where everyone seems to be living a perfect life. As we scroll through, we are greeted by images of people with flawless skin, perfect bodies, exotic vacations, and impossibly happy relationships. But let's take a moment and peer behind this digital curtain. This illusion of perfection that social media paints is akin to a mirage in the desert. It appears to be real, but when you reach out to touch it, there's nothing there. This is not to say that everything on social media is a lie, but rather that what we see is often a carefully curated highlight reel, not a reflection of reality. The impact of this mirage on our mental health can be profound. Studies have shown that constant exposure to such unrealistically perfect lives can lead to feelings of inadequacy, loneliness, and even depression. We begin to measure our self-worth by how our lives stack up against those we see online, and more often than not, we find ourselves lacking. This illusion also propagates unrealistic expectations. We start to believe that if our lives aren't as perfect as what we see on social media, then we're doing something wrong. But the truth is, life is messy, it's unpredictable, and it's full of ups and downs. The pursuit of a perfect life, as depicted on social media, is not only unrealistic, but also unattainable. Moreover, this dissatisfaction with our lives that social media breeds can hinder our ability to appreciate the beauty in our own lives. We become so focused on what we don't have that we forget to appreciate what we do have. So, the next time you find yourself scrolling through social media, remember that what you're seeing is not the whole picture. It's a mirage, a snippet of a much larger story that is often far from perfect. Social media, as it appears, is not always what it seems. What if we told you that every like, share, and comment you make is a part of a larger scheme? Sounds fantastical, right? But it's not far from the truth. In this digital age, social media platforms are akin to puppet masters, using subtle manipulation tactics to keep us engaged and scrolling. Let's delve into the intricate webs woven by these platforms. At their core, they employ algorithms, complex mathematical formulas that determine what you see on your feed. You might think it's random, but every post, every ad, every recommendation is meticulously curated based on your online behavior. The more you engage, the more the algorithm learns about you, fine-tuning its tactic to keep you hooked. Now, let's talk about the dopamine reward system. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter in our brain associated with pleasure and reward. Each time you receive a like, a share, or a comment, your brain releases dopamine. It's a little burst of happiness that keeps you coming back for more. This is the same mechanism that underlies addiction. In essence, social media platforms exploit this system to keep you engaged. But wait, it doesn't stop there. These platforms also utilize the fear of missing out, or FOMO. They bombard you with updates from your friends, celebrities, and influencers, creating a constant state of comparison and the illusion that everyone else is living a better life. This fear keeps you hooked, constantly checking for updates so you don't miss out. Finally, social media platforms use persuasive design techniques. They're designed to be visually appealing and easy to use, making it all the more enticing for you to stay and scroll. So, what's the takeaway here? It's not about shunning social media entirely, but understanding the tactics they use to keep you engaged. The more you know about these tactics, the better equipped you'll be to navigate the digital world. How can ancient philosophy help us navigate the modern digital world? That's the question we're diving into in this segment. Let's take a step back in time over 2,000 years ago, to a period where the concept of social media was as alien as flying cars. This was the era of the Stoics, a group of philosophers who championed the pursuit of wisdom, emotional resilience, and above all else, understanding and accepting what is in our control and what isn't. The cornerstone of Stoicism is the belief that we have control over our actions, our responses, and our perceptions. So when we're scrolling through social media, it's not the images or the posts that affect us, it's our perception of them. It's how we choose to respond. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, and in the context of social media, that means controlling our reactions to the content we see. This doesn't mean we shun the digital world, but rather, we approach it with a balanced mindset and a clarity of thought. The Stoics also preach the pursuit of wisdom. In a world that bombards us with information, wisdom isn't about knowing more, it's about understanding better. Stoicism encourages us to question, to think critically, and not to accept everything at face value. So when we encounter that picture-perfect post on Instagram, we remind ourselves of the reality behind the screen. Another key Stoic teaching is the acceptance of things we can't control. We can't control what others post, what trends on social media, or how algorithms curate our feeds. But we can accept these realities, ensuring they don't dictate our happiness or self-worth. By embracing these Stoic principles, we can navigate the digital world with grace and resilience. We can find balance amidst the chaos, wisdom amidst the noise, and peace amidst the turbulence. Stoicism, a philosophy from over 2,000 years ago, might just hold the key to surviving the digital age. How much power does self-control hold in our digital lives? This is a question that often goes unanswered, yet it carries immense significance in our technologically driven world. The realm of social media can be a whirlwind of emotions, opinions, and experiences. It's a world that can draw us in, manipulate our thoughts, and dictate our actions. But the power to navigate this digital maze rests in our hands, or more accurately, in our minds. It lies in the ancient concept of self-control. Self-control is the ability to exercise restraint, to hold the reins of our impulses, desires, and behaviors. In the context of social media, it's about setting boundaries. It's about deciding how much time we're willing to devote to scrolling through feeds, how much importance we're ready to attach to likes and shares, and how much of our happiness hinges on digital validation. Practicing self-control in our digital lives can take many forms. It could be as simple as limiting the time we spend on social media each day. It could be choosing not to check our accounts the first thing in the morning or the last thing at night. It could be taking regular digital detoxes, periods where we disconnect from our devices to reconnect with ourselves and the world around us. These actions may seem small, but their impact is profound. They free us from the hold of social media, allowing us to reclaim our time, our focus, and our peace of mind. They help us see through the illusions of digital perfection and impossible dreams, grounding us in reality. Self-control also empowers us. It puts us back in the driver's seat, giving us the power to dictate our relationship with social media, rather than being at its mercy. It's an assertion of our autonomy, a declaration that we are more than just passive consumers of content. So, in the face of social media manipulation, remember the power of self-control. Remember that you have the ability to set your own rules, to chart your own course. You are not a puppet to the pulls of digital strings. With self-control, you have the power to dictate your relationship with social media. Have you ever heard the story of the man who conquered the digital world? There was once a man named Alex who found himself entrapped in the glossy allure of social media. He compared his life to the seemingly perfect lives displayed on his screen, allowing the digital world to manipulate his perceptions and emotions. But then, Alex discovered the ancient teachings of Stoicism. He learned that it is not the external events, but how we respond to them that determines our reality. He realized that he had been letting social media control his reactions, his happiness, his life. And so he decided to make a change. With the power of self-control, Alex started to reshape his digital world. He stopped mindlessly scrolling through social media feeds, comparing his behind the scenes with others' highlight reels. Instead, he used these platforms as tools for his own growth and empowerment. He embraced the Stoic principle of focusing only on what he could control: his actions, his responses, his thoughts. Through his journey, Alex found peace of mind in the midst of the digital chaos. He stopped chasing the impossible dreams sold by social media and started pursuing his own authentic goals. He no longer felt like a puppet on strings held by the hands of digital manipulation, but became the puppeteer. Alex's story is not just an inspirational anecdote, but a beacon of hope for all of us navigating the labyrinth of the digital world. It shows us that we can use the ancient wisdom of Stoicism and the power of self-control to overcome manipulation and reclaim our lives. Through this journey of empowerment, Alex discovered that he was not just a passive consumer in the digital world, but an active participant. He learned to use social media as a tool, not a trap. He found his true self not in the reflections of others, but in his own actions and thoughts. Remember, the power to shape your digital world lies in your hands. You are not a puppet, but the puppeteer.